So let's start standing today, and we'll just roll out the feet a little bit. And we'll need the stool, yeah, so please make sure you have your stool there as well. Take one of your therapy balls. If you don't have a yoga tune-up therapy ball, you can use a tennis ball. And just start rolling your feet.
I guess that means I have to take flippers. Cold down here.
It's relatively early in the morning, so if you feel a bit tippy, you're welcome to use a wall to hold on to, or a stool, or a chair. Sort of see how everything feels. Start slowly and gently, massaging the sole of your foot. Notice which side you started on, just to notice your habits. Notice how your breath is flowing. Do you maybe have to hold your breath when you find a certain spot on your foot? Can you sort of ease off of that and make sure that the breath is still flowing? And then switch over to the other side. As you're rolling one foot out, notice how your weight is sitting in the leg that's supporting you. Maybe you can notice that your arch is kind of collapsing towards the floor, or your weight is more in your toes than in your heel. Just make the observations. And then go back to the foot that you're rolling out and see how that foot is feeling. Nice. Now we'll put the ball off to the side and we'll shake a little bit. Wake everything up. So just like bounce gently. Start noticing your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips, your arms, your wrists, your chest, your shoulders, your head. Maybe start going a little bit more vigorously. Shaking, shaking, shaking. Notice which body parts are ready to shake and which body parts are kind of stiff. And they're maybe protecting themselves or just not letting go. Your shoulders. Beautiful. And then slow it down. Find stillness, close your eyes, and just stay here for a few breaths. Notice how the air comes in and comes out. Notice the stillness in your body. How it's the opposite of the shaking. Notice the soles of your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips, your belly, your chest, your ribcage, the back of your ribcage, your shoulder blades, your fingertips, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your neck, and the weight of your head sitting right on top of your shoulders. Open your eyes. Beautiful. And we'll sit onto the stool. Let's roll our pelvis back and forth a few times. Make sure your feet are in contact with the ground, so the stool is not too low, not too high. If you need more height in your stool, maybe put a blanket under. See if you can move your pelvis here back and forth a few times. See how everything feels. Notice if your knees are moving in and out. Can you stabilize your legs a little bit and just move the pelvis back and forth? Beautiful. So as you tilt your pelvis forward, can you feel the flat part of your pelvis your rami. So the sitting bones are the pointy bits. And when we roll forward, can you find that flat surface right in front of the sit bones? Beautiful. And how does it make your lower back feel? Let's tip the pelvis all the way back. Notice how you're sitting more in the flesh of your bum and your lower back is rounded. And then slowly tip your pelvis forward, finding those flat parts and how your spine lengthens and your head is right on top of the shoulders. One more time. Roll the pelvis back. You're sitting on the flesh, more on the tailbone, on the flesh of your bum. And then you tip it forward and you're landing on those flat parts of your pelvis and you're sitting more on the flesh of your thighs now. Lovely. Find your bend. So stay on those flat parts. I want you to stay aware of the rami. So the anatomical name for the flat part of your pelvis is ramus, the one side, and both of them are rami. So stay right on that flat part. Have your band wrapped around the bottom of your ribcage. Your hands on your knees, and we'll take a few breaths here. Still aware of your rami. Pressing into the stool. Notice if your pelvis feels even on the stool. Maybe one side feels heavier than the other. So once you settle there, take a few slow but easy breaths. Notice how your ribcage is able to expand into the resistance of the band. Notice if the entire ribcage is expanding, or maybe you're aware of some parts that are pressing out into the band and some parts that you're not so much aware of. As you inhale, you expand into the band. As you exhale, you come back to its original shape. And at the very bottom of the exhalation, you feel a gentle hugging in sensation. Like you gently shrink wrapping around the midsection and underneath the ribs. And then the new inhale comes in, we expand. And we let it go, nice and soft. Beautiful. Now let's untie the band. We'll keep it where it is, but we're going to pull on the ends of the band like this. So the band is roughly around where the bra strap would be, right? Or the bro strap for the guys, right? Our mid back, underneath the shoulder blades. So give into the resistance of the band, and that's the action of flipping the lid open, right, on your egg. And I'm gonna press into the band, and that will close the lid on our egg. And again, give into the resistance. Try not to shift the pelvis on the stool, right? So the pelvis stays heavy, both sides are evenly heavy. You press into the band, you close the lid on your egg, and then you give into that resistance. And then again, you press. So keep pressing into the resistance of the band. Keep pulling on the band, and we're going to rotate over to the right, aim out, tiny little bit. But we keep pressing out into the band through your mid-back. Inhale, expand into the band. Exhale. Inhale one more time, expand. As you exhale, come back to center. Inhale here, make sure you're expanding into the band. Exhale, rotating over to the left. The pelvis stays heavy. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale, expand. Exhale, come back to center. And then slowly, slowly let go of the bend. Ooh, I know. So take the bend, bring it to the lap, and now see if you can revisit the sensation, that phantom bend now across your mid-back. Pretend it's still there, okay? Now we're gonna pull on the bend that's on your lap. We're gonna sort of stretch it out. Don't make it too much effort for yourself. So you should feel it, but you should not be holding your breath. Also notice if your wrists want to kind of buckle in, try to keep your wrists in line with your forearm. So you're pulling on the band, you're feeling that phantom bend on your back. So we're trying not to do this. We're pressing back, and we're gonna lift the arms up and over our head while stretching the bend. And we'll do a rotation again, over to one side, still expanding through the mid-back. Come back to center, inhale here. Exhale over to the other side. Still pressing out into the imaginary back across your mid-back and pulling on the strap that's up and over. Come back to center, inhale. Exhale over to the right. Come back. Inhale. And then exhale over to the left. Come back to center. And then slowly, slowly bring it down. Beautiful. So we can put the band off to the side. So now I want you to tilt your pelvis back. So round into your back. I want you to hang your head down. And I want you to lean forward. Let's stay here a little bit. Allow your head to be heavy. So the T-spine, our thoracic spine, was designed to flex. So this is a nice supported position. So it's nice to soften here and allow it to hang. And then slowly roll up, landing on the right line of your pelvis again. And the head right on top of your shoulders. And notice if the ribs want to flare up. Think of that band across the mid-back. We do it one more time. So tilt the pelvis back, round into your lower back, sort of slouching round into the chest, allow the head to hang. And then slowly, slowly start tilting your pelvis forward, coming back into that nice neutral shape. Grow through the crown of your head. Beautiful. So now allow your right arm to hang. I'll be your mirror reflection. And then your right ear will go to the right shoulder. Your arm is nice and heavy, and you're sort of draping over a big beach ball on your right side. The pelvis is still heavy on your stool on both sides. Then slowly bring yourself up. Left arm hangs. Left ear to the left shoulder, nice and slow. Allow it to hang. The arm is so heavy that it's sort of pulling itself away from the side of the body. And slowly bring yourself back up. Lovely. So let's grab the band again. Now I want you to wrap it across your lower back. So you can change the grip holding onto the band. If you start noticing that it's kind of rubbing against the space in the thumb and the pointer, sort of change it up a little bit so it's not always the same way. So pelvis is heavy on the band. Pull on the band just enough to feel that resistance. Now see if you can press out through the lower back into the band. And then give into the resistance again. And then press into the resistance, and then give in. And then press. Give in. Now find sort of middle ground, so you feel the resistance from the band, You're not giving in, you're not pressing out. Connect to your feet, and we'll try standing up, still holding onto the bend here. So we'll do the hinge, and you'll feel right away if when you're hinging, you're rounding into your lower back. So we're gonna get our legs on line. So think of pulling them back like this and feel how the back line of your leg lifts up. So keep the same shape through the lower back. Start hinging forward. Pressing into your feet. See if you can push through the feet and come up. Same way on the way down. So bend your knees, send your sit bones back. Keep the same shape through the lower back, all the way down. Land, find your stool. Cool, right? So now we're gonna have the bend across the mid-back. When we do the hinge, very often we use the rib cage to help us lift up. So we'll try to press out into the bend, and you can keep your arms sort of like bent, so you don't have to stretch them out all the way, because this is quite strenuous. But I want you to press out into the mid-back. So now you sort of know what it feels like to have neutral back here. So keep the neutral lower back. Keep pressing out into your back ribs. Now we're gonna hinge again. Keep pressing out into the band. Push through the feet. Come up. Bending the knees. Keep pressing out through the band. Send your sit bones back. Slowly, slowly. Let down. Beautiful. One more time. Hinging. Hinging, pressing out into the band. Push through the feet and come up. Beautiful. Let go of your band. Lovely. So we're gonna activate our fingers a little bit. I didn't mention in the beginning, but hopefully you still have the small broccoli elastics. And if it feels good to be sitting down still, you can stay sitting down, or you can be standing like me. So we're gonna bring the elastic right across the tips of the fingers. So Lisa, if you don't have the broccoli elastics, you're welcome to just hold on to your ball and squeeze the ball, okay? So rotate the forearm up. Keep pressing out, spreading out into your bend. Notice if the shoulder wants to creep up to the ear, or maybe the elbow wants to go in, out. So now we're gonna flex the wrist like this, and we'll try spreading out into the band here. And now we're gonna extend and press out into the band here. Keep extending through the wrist. I'm trying to hold the angle of my elbow the same, because see, when the fingers don't wanna work, my elbow wants to take over, right? So you're extending and you're spreading out into the bend. Beautiful. Put the bend down, hold onto your ball. Hold onto the wrist with your other hand. I'm gonna go for a nice juicy circle. So the wrist is moving, but the forearm does not, right? Keep squeezing the ball, rotating here. Nice and slow, and flexing, holding onto the ball to the side, extending, holding onto the ball, and go the opposite way. Beautiful. Okay, so now the forearm is still pointing up. I'm going to hold onto the upper arm, and we'll gently rotate it out that way. The elbow is bent. I'm going to hold onto the forearm, and we're going to flip. So this is called supination of the forearm. I'm going to flip it over pronation, pronate, while gently rolling the upper arm away. So this stays in neutral and this pronates, and then out. And then again, all the way, keep squeezing the ball and try to keep the straight line between your hand and your forearm. What happens sometimes, this happens when you pronate. So try to keep this line straight. Or the elbow wants to bend, right? So try to keep the angle of the elbow the same as you pronate. Very nice. Let go of the ball, let's shake it out. And we'll do the other side. So you bend, so Lisa, you can keep squeezing the ball and gently letting go. Right across the fingertips. If you're sitting on your stool, can you still feel the rami underneath you? Are they even? Is your rib cage right on top of your pelvis? Nice. Notice which finger doesn't really want to do the work. For me, on the left, it's my thumb. It's just like, oh, doesn't want to do anything. So we're going to flex. Elbow stays at the same angle. Spread into the bend. So, and if you notice that it's, it's too easy, maybe you'll try, next time you'll try a band that has a little bit more resistance to it. And now we're going to extend. And we'll try doing the same without changing the angle of the elbow. Keep extending the wrist, spreading out. Ooh, beautiful. Let go, take the ball, squeeze, hold onto the forearm, big circle. Keep squeezing the ball. And go the other way. Beautiful. Hold into the ball, create straight line through the forearm. Hold on onto your upper arm and gently rotate it this way. So keep it there. I'm going to pronate the forearm all the way down. Try to flip it over 180 degrees. See how the elbow wants to kind of move out? So keep it sort of the upper arm vertical, the forearm parallel to the floor, gently rolling the upper arm out, so it's external rotation, and you're rotating at the elbow. Beautiful, nice. Okay, let that go, shake it out. So now I want you to find your loop. We'll be standing up, and I'm going to put the loop over our feet. So the loop will go over our ankles, like this. And I want you to widen your feet enough to feel quite a bit of resistance from the bend. And I'll move my screen really close so you can see. It's a sort of a tricky move to find. I'm hoping you can see because I'm really close on the screen. So my big toes are grounded and my pinkies are grounded as well. I'm trying to spread out through the toes and see how my sort of inner ankles, these parts, they can really let go into towards the floor. And then I can press out through my ankle bones. And I can sort of give into the resistance again. I'm gonna widen my feet so I feel a bit more resistance. So I give into the resistance and then I press out. But my big toes and my pinkies stay grounded. And I give into the resistance and I press out. And hopefully what you will feel is that your foot is aligned a little bit more under the shin bone. So see how when we give into the resistance, right? It's kind of, this angle is a little bit more. And then when we press out, the foot feels like it's a better support for the shin bone. So I want you to press out and try to keep that pressing out action. Very nice. Okay. So if you have your longer piece, I want you to sort of pin it down with your foot. I'm going to hold on to the band and create enough resistance so you feel it, but again, not too much. Pressing out through the ankles, feel that support from the foot into the shin, into your thigh. So, and you're going to pull on the band with your shoulder. You're going to shrug the shoulder up. Try to keep your elbow nice and straight. And then you slowly, slowly give into the resistance, but not enough to kind of topple you over. Shrug your shoulder up. And then slowly, slowly, slowly down. So if you have the ball in the hand, just move your arm. So Gloria, holding the ball. So you're doing the same action, but you just don't have that pull from the band. Try not to move the body. So it's just the shoulder blade that's lifting up to the ear. And then you bring it down. Okay. Pull up and down. So keep pulling on the band or hold onto your ball. Now see if you can rotate the arm in without moving the shoulder blade. And then rotate it out. And then in, elbow straight and out. And in, and out. Okay, now come back to neutral. See if you can move the entire shoulder blade with the arm forward. The body remains square to the screen and then back. And then forward. And then back. Come back to midline. Let's shrug. Move forward now. Down. Back. All the way back. Feel the shoulder blade hugging your spine now. Up. Up, 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 up. Forward. And down. And back to neutral. Notice if you're still pressing out into the loop over your ankles. Let's move the shoulder blade forward. We'll switch the direction. Shrug up, back, 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 and down. One more time. Forward, up, 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 up. Elbow straight, back, and then down. Beautiful. Nice. So let go with that. And we'll switch over to the other side. So step onto the band with your other foot. Again, find enough resistance. And maybe the side will need more resistance or maybe less. Just, be your own guru. See what feels right. Switch the ball over to the other hand, pressing out into your ankles. And I don't know if you can see, but when I sort of give in, my whole structure kind of gives into the gravity when I don't press out into the band that's over my ankles. Pressing out gives me this sort of support all the way up into my shoulders. So pulling on your band or holding onto your ball, let's bring the shoulder up to the ear without letting the body lean over. The elbow stays straight. See how the elbow wants to go? The elbow stays straight and then down. And then pull up. Elbow stays straight and then down. And then pull up and down. And I will try rotating. So the arm hangs down. We're rotating the arm bone inside the shoulder blade socket. So see how this movement is different. The shoulder blade stays still and it's the arm bone that's rotating. Yeah. Okay, now the arm bone will stay still. We're going to shrug the shoulder up again. I'm gonna move the shoulder blade forward, then slowly down. I love the bend because it gives us a chance to calibrate the effort. So both on the way up, we'll feel the resistance, move it forward. And then on the way down, you feel the letting go of the resistance, right? So back, up, forward, and down. Try not to move the rest of the body. Let's switch the direction, forward, up, pressing out through the ankles, back, and down, forward, up, back, and down. Beautiful, and then slowly let go. Take off the loop from over your ankles. Find your stool. We'll wrap the bend. I'll give you a minute to untie the bend if you tied it. So you can, while you're untying it, you can sort of watch me so you know where we're going. So we're gonna press out into the bend across the mid-back again. We'll get our legs online, and hopefully you can now use that pressing out through the ankle action to give more support to your legs and find that activation through the back line again. So we're gonna press out, but we'll find our hinge, and we'll press our hands into the stool while holding onto the bend. So it gets more sort of easier. It gets way easier working with the bends once you do it a few times. It might feel like it's a lot of sort of fiddling, but you know, it only takes a couple of times. So pressing out, hinging, and then pressing your hands onto the stool. So feel the resistance of the band across your mid-back, and then give into the resistance, and then push into the resistance. There you go, legs online. Think of pressing out through your ankles still. Give into the resistance. So we're articulating our thoracic spine. Push into the resistance of the bend. Give in into the resistance, and then push. Beautiful, couple more times. Give into the resistance, so the elbows are straight, and then push. So now keep pushing into the bend. Notice if you tucked your pelvis. So try to keep neutral through the lower back. So while pressing out into the resistance, then you allow your shoulder blades to come towards the spine. So release your chest down towards the street. And then pushing into your arms, into your hands, widen the space across the shoulder blades. And again, allow the shoulder blades to glide in towards the spine. And then push and widen. And your pelvis stays in neutral. The lower back doesn't move. One more time. Inhale. Shoulder blades moving together. Exhale. Push and widen. Beautiful. So now bend your knees a lot. Send your sit bones back. Pushing through the feet. Pressing through that imaginary loop. Come up. And release the bend. Very nice. Put the bend off to the side. Shake out your arms. Lovely. Okay. So we'll make our way down onto the floor. We'll need your bolster, if you have a bolster, or your blanket. And we'll go onto our side. So the bolster or the blanket can be sort of horizontal in relation to your body. The blanket will be rolled up into a shape of a bolster like this. The left side of your body will drape over the bolster just across your waistline. Go ahead and lie down like this. And see if you can take a few breaths in. Into the side of your ribcage. Drape over your bolster or the blanket through your waistline and partially through your ribs. Just take a moment here. Your knees are bent. You can bring your top arm up and over, slightly in front of your face. Take a few breaths here, lengthening through the top side of the body. Breathing into the bottom ribs, the ones where you feel the bolster and the blanket. Beautiful. Now press yourself up and we'll switch over to the other side. Right knee, so right underneath your waistline. Take a few breaths here. Make yourself comfortable. There is no prescribed exact position for this. Just make your body relax and drape itself over with your rolled up blanket. And then the top arm goes up and over, and you feel it lengthening from the fingertips all the way into your hip. And then press yourself up nice and slow. Move the blanket off to the side. And we'll spend a few minutes on our hands and knees. So we warmed up our wrists, our fingers, our shoulders. So hopefully you can really enjoy being on your hands and knees now. And see what your body wants you to do. Maybe you want to round and arch into the middle back or into your entire back. Pressing through your fingertips, pressing through your ball of your hands. Try widening your hands. Turn your fingers out to the side so we're there at 45 degrees. Now see if you can allow your shoulder blades to come towards the spine here. Next. Pretend you still have the rubber band, the resistance band across your mid-back. And notice if you've given into the resistance. So can you press out into that band, but still allow the shoulder blades to be closer to the spine. And then pushing through your hands, widen across the shoulder blades. And allow the shoulder blades to come together. Keep that phantom resistance band across your upper back, so you're not giving into the resistance, you're still pressing out, and then push and widen the space between the shoulder blades. Try to keep your pelvis in neutral. See how my lower back stays the same. It's just the space between the shoulder blades that I'm sort of collapsing and narrowing towards the spine, and then pushing through your arms, through your hands, widen the space between the shoulder blades. Beautiful. Now move your hands to underneath your shoulders. We're going to reach the right arm across midline. Come up onto your fingertips. Tuck your toes under. Press into that imaginary resistance band across your upper back, and then pull your hips back. Allow the head to hang. And then bring yourself back up. Switch sides, so press into the right hand, reach the left arm across midline, come up into the fingertips. My band is still here, I'm thinking of band. I'm not collapsing into the mid-back, I'm pressing out. Reach forward, and then soften your right elbow and pull your hips back. And then bring you back. Bring yourself back to center. Come down onto your elbows. Supinate your forearms so your palms are facing up. Move your elbows 2 inches forward. Glue the backs of your hands to the floor. Think of pressing out into that band across your mid-back. Keep that shape through your spine and then send your hips back. Gluing the backs of your hands to the floor and still pressing out into that band through your mid-back. Thinking of sending the ribcage up towards the sky. And slowly come back to center. Push yourself up onto your hands. And then slowly go down onto your elbows. We'll do it a few times just to feel how, we can bear load through the hands. Push yourself one hand at a time and then slowly go down onto the forearms. Try not to change the shape of your spine when you do this. So we're just using our shoulders and our arms and our hands. Couple more times, nice and slow. Nothing changes in your back. Nice. So now we're gonna send the hips back a little bit. So there's less weight sitting in the wrist. I'm gonna flip the hands over. I'm gonna make fists and then open your hands back out. So Gordon, you can send your hips a little bit further back so there's not so much weight on your wrists. Yeah. Pressing the backs of your hands into the floor and then gathering into the fists, nice and slow. Notice if the elbows want to bend. So can you keep the elbows as straight as possible while gathering your fingers into fists? But pressing the backs of your hands into the floor and then opening. And one more time. Gather them into fists. And open. Beautiful. And now slowly flip your hands over. And now make your way onto your right hip with your legs over. So your right hip, legs over to the right. So I'm going to be your mirror reflection here. And we'll find the bend here. So you're on your right hip, legs over to the left. So and your right hand is supporting you here on the floor. Can you collapse into your shoulder, like load it up and allow your weight to collapse into the shoulder, and then push and go nice tall neck here. And then slowly collapse into the shoulder. Feel how it's the shoulder blade that moved up your ribcage and then push. And one more time, collapse. And push. So look at the eye of the elbow. Is it pointing in towards your waistline, or can you rotate it out so it's pointing more towards the screen? Move it a few times. Notice how it's the upper arm that needs to rotate in order for this action to happen. Now, pin one side of your band down with your hand. Hold the other side. Pressing the right hand onto the floor, rotate the eye of the elbow forward. Notice how much support your shoulder gets from your arm. I'm going to pull on the bend and then slowly let go. Decide how much resistance you want and pull. Try to keep your elbow straight. See how my elbow is straight? So reach the arm forward, and also notice if the wrist wants to kind of collapse. Try to keep a straight line between the wrist and the upper arm. Pull. Notice if you collapse into the shoulder, push. And then slowly let go. So pull. Now see if you can bring your arm higher up and maybe bring it slightly behind your head like this. And then slowly down. And release. One more time. Keep pushing through the hand. pull, up. Maybe you can get it all the way behind your head. Forward, and then down. I know. Both hands on the floor, sort of in front of your knee. Widen your hands and then see if you can collapse into the shoulder blades here. And then push and widen between the shoulder blades. So it's not so much the neck, right? The spine remains in neutral. You allow the shoulder blades to come in towards the spine and then push like there is that band across your upper back. So yeah, one more time in and then push. Lovely. Okay, let's move over to the other side. Bend with you. So now you're sitting on your left hip and your legs are over to the right. First, we're gonna activate that shoulder again. So your left hand is pressing into the floor. Spread your fingers nice and wide and allow, play with the distance. So here it's kind of hard to collapse here. I move it out a little bit so it's 45 degrees. And then I collapse and then push, lengthen, collapse, and then push, lengthen. One more time. Yeah, and then push, lengthen, and now try to rotate the eye of the elbow. Then you rotate your upper arm here, enough for the eye of the elbow to point towards the screen. Yeah. Nice. So find the bend, now pin it down with your hand. Press through your hand. Rotate the eye of the elbow forward. Keep pressing out through the hand so you're supporting the shoulder. Hold onto the bend, straighten your arm, and pull. And then slowly release. And pull. And you can create your own, you decide how much effort you want. The closer you start holding to the hand that's on the floor, the more effort you'll have to apply, right? So you have to judge for yourself. Make sure you're still breathing. You don't have to bend your elbow. You don't have to break at the wrist. Then you support yourself through that left arm. So we're gonna all the way up now. So pull, bring it up, and then see maybe you can bring it behind your head. Straight elbow. And then slowly, slowly back. One more time. Forward, pull, up, and then behind your head. Notice if you're breaking at the wrist here or the elbow. One last time. Forward, pull, up, and behind your head. Lovely. Slow, slow, slow. Beautiful. And then put it down. Make your way down into your forearms. And we'll just move the shoulder blades here. You're pressing for the forearms, you widen the space between the shoulder blades, and then you're allowing the shoulder blades to collapse towards the spine. You release the chest towards the ground, and then you push with the forearms. And you widen the space between the shoulder blades. Maybe you want to go for a circle, shrugging the shoulder blades out, allowing them to come in towards the spine, pulling them down, and then pushing to widen that space between them. And then switch the direction, drive the other way. Beautiful. And then slowly press yourself up. And we'll settle in for our snow angels on the floor. So find your blanket or your bolster. can use a block or a book for underneath your head, or maybe another, like a small pillow or a rolled up towel. We'll support the shoulder blades in our head, but our middle back will be hanging off the support. So nice and slow from your side. Your bolster is right underneath the shoulder blades, but not below them. Make sure your neck feels nice and long here. And then allow your arms to open out to the sides. Have them soft and heavy. Your palms are facing up. Notice how your middle back feels. Can you allow it to soften towards the floor? Or maybe it feels like it's arching a little bit. So invite the space between the floor and the back of your ribs to become smaller, and you soften the middle back. Take a few calm breaths here. Soften into your chest, into your belly. And now we'll connect our thumbs into the floor, and we'll take the arms out so we're in external rotation of the shoulder. The pinky side of your palm will be facing up towards the ceiling. You can allow your knees to come together so your belly can relax. And now we'll slowly glide our arms up and towards our head while keeping the thumbs on the floor. As soon as you feel any discomfort, stop there and just think of reaching the upper arm away from the armpit. Breathing and noticing the sensations across the chest, through the underside of the arms. And then slowly gliding the arms down, back to maybe T-shape or slightly below. And then glide them up again. Notice if your ribcage gets lighter on your bolster. Can you keep your ribcage heavy, especially the bottom rim of your ribcage? And stop as soon as you feel your thumbs are lifting off the ground, your ribs are popping up, or you feel any discomfort. There should be a sensation of gentle stretching. And glide them down. And you can linger at any angle, wherever it feels best for your body. You can sort of stay there and revisit the three-dimensional breath. Imagine you have that resistance band across all around your ribcage, and you're extending your ribs into the band. And you're softening, letting go on the exhale. And then allow the arms to relax by your sides and allow the shoulders to soften. You take a few more minutes here. Breathing, softening, allowing your body to be heavy. And now start moving the fingertips. Notice how this movement radiates up your arms, shoulders, and into your neck. Invite your inhales to lengthen, and your exhales to lengthen. And then bring your arms up and over your head and talk your fingers. Straighten your legs. Cross your right ankle over left. Make sure the ribs are still in and your ribcage is heavy on the bolster. And we're going to create this crescent shape to the left side, so we're lengthening the right side of the body and gently shrinking the left. And slowly let go, come back to center. Left ankle over right. The arms are moving over to the right as well. And you're lengthening from the left side and shrinking from the right. And the ribs are still heavy on the bolster. And then come back to center, bend your knees. And slowly rolling over to one side, rest yourself up. Take a moment here, feel the weight of your body on top of your head. Maybe move your head side to side. See how your back feels, how the space between the shoulder blades feel. And this will be the end.